Good evening, greetings from the Institute of Global Professional IGP, greetings from the Institute of Global Professional IGP. Thank you all for joining us and staying with us till the end. Honorable Knowledge Seeker, today I am your host for the evening. My name is Badhun Das. I am from Bangladesh. Dear Knowledge Seeker, I am proud to be associated with IGP. IGP is Social and ISRF International Educational and Training Institute. In last years, we already served 35 million plus knowledge seekers from 100 plus countries. IGP is internationally recognized and globally accredited. We are connected to more than 450 plus profession and 4,500 plus organization. Institute of Global Professional is an education institute that provides social service and community resource providing holistic social work and education. We believe that it's not effective to increase one skill just by offering formal education. So we provide effective training and consultation to generate proficient generation all over the world. We distribute our services locally, national, international to student, job seeker, job holder, and also for learner to location and distance learning platform. We are an occupational and dependable institute. IGP is on the education is not business product, it's a part of our human rights. Based on our vision, we are trying to reach all of our work for the trying to reach all the corner of the world for the free webinar, seminar courses, our quiz competition, mentoring, and counseling, etc. On the other side, we are also trying to offer more than 100 premium services for free, like create on portfolio website, resume builder, cover letter, motivational letter, and wellness platform for gathering set free course, convert sites, and many more. We help to empower you to learn to meet their expectation and dream and become highly skilled people. We implement our training program webinar and offline online courses for youth and learner by professional trainers, speaker, and coaches. Our sessions are conducted by globally renowned professionals to develop all kind of youth and to promote the education of the abilities and personal. Speaking knowledge is crucial for the Institute of Global Professionals. We believe that knowledge is love and light and vision. So we try to understand the needs of today's generation and we serve them with good research and practice method. We must have a genuine concern for the learner represent. More diversity, growth, and innovation are required to lead a session with professionalism, passion, and integrity. IG member are committed to offering effective best quality service and continual improvement so that the individual who seek information can improve their skill level and value. Before we move to the next, let me remind, don't forget to share, tag, and mention your. Before we move to the next, let me remind, don't forget to share, tag, and mention your friend in the comment box. The support is very valuable for us. Thank you. Moving to the next, with your continuous support, we already completed 2,200 03 webinars. Dismissed that you cannot do anything here. From now on, you have to participate in live quiz competition on our website. We replace slide. You have to join directly on our website. Now I can check all of our previous webinars with verified certificate. Now it's easier and time oriented because after the session we will not provide any code for certification. You have to take part in one exam. After that, if you pass, you will receive your certificate, otherwise not. But you can take part in an exam unlimited till you pass. If you're an IGP speaker, you can download certificate speakership certificate. If you're a host of IGP, you can download certificate of gratitude. If you're an online live quiz competition winner, you can download certificate of participation. If you're selected for lifetime membership, then you can download certificate of lifetime membership easily. Besides this, we participate in an award function, which I download that also. You can see CPP and download 18 deficiency certificate from our website within a minute. Certificate of Global Professional Membership, Certificate of Global Influence in the Pandemic, Certificate of Active Knowledge Seeker, Certificate of Social Activities in the Pandemic, Certificate of IGP and IGP Knowledge Income in 2020, 2021 and 2022, Certificate of Participation in Webinar Series 1, Authentic Assessment in Teaching Learning, Certificate of Participation in Webinar Series 2. Teaching English or foreign language and assessment, Certificate of Participation in Webinar Series 3, Digital Classroom Engagement Tool, Certificate of Participation in Webinar Series 4. The new trend in education, Certificate of Partnership Webinar Series 5, Office Social Leadership and Managerial Skills, Certificate of Partnership Webinar Series 6. Trend and Innovation in Mathematics Education, Certificate of Partnership Webinar Series 7, Research Comprehension Approach, Certificate of Partnership in Webinar Series 8, Art in Teaching and Spatial Programming Webinar Series 9, 21st Century Student Teaching Mathematics Certificate, Certificate of IGP Campus Summary, which you can prepare and download within a minute. From now, you can participate in 1,000+ international level quizzes, verified teaching is for teacher, health is for parents, health is for teens, revision tools for teacher. You can join IGP alumni. You can check out our prepared film services website for free and many more. Well, we should be promised previously, but lack of technical problem, well, late sending on time. This is a great opportunity to collect your previous condition to solve all issue from our website. Now you can enroll, reset password, everything, and check your for all admin details. It's a cordial request to check our button pages on our website. She'll concept the benefit. Thank you, but note that without an account or login, you cannot enter 04 webinar, which name is Tackling Educational Problem for Fee and Results. And today our speaker name is Professor Dr. A.M.B. Meher Mia, HC. She is from South Africa. Before I hand over the stage to speaker, ma'am, I'll share a little bit about her. Founder the MIA program. Global Educationist Motivational Speaker, Transformation, Mental Wellness Advocate, International Co-authored, and multiple global award winning. Now, very important moment for me to invite our speaker to IGP with her presentation. Now, to invite our speaker to IGP with her presentation. Hello, ma'am. Good evening.
Hello, everyone. How are you, ma'am?
I'm fine, ma'am. How are you, ma'am?
Very well, thank you. I'm good.
Study presentation now.
Thank you so much. So I greet everyone in the universal greeting of peace with blessings. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Today we are talking about something that's very important regarding our education and the education systems, not just here in my country, which is South Africa, but also for every other country that I think may be facing very similar issues. And one of them is all about the problems that we face in education, and what can we do to tackle these problems so that we make it easier for our children, for our teachers, and for the outcomes to be good. Now, we all know that education is a fundamental part of life, right? Education is something we all need because it shapes our life trajectory, especially as individuals and who we are. We need education to be able to shape our lives accordingly. And it's important for us to be aware of whatever challenges we could be facing in the educational system so that we can learn what strategies can we put together so that we can curb and overcome the challenges that we are facing. Now, remember, difficulties that are encountered in education take many different forms. They can be financial constraints, they can be material issues, they can have lack of motivation from both the teacher and of the student, and each challenge is unique. And each challenge needs a different approach so that we can ensure continued progress through learning. That is the ultimate key, is for learning, it has to be continued. People have to love to keep learning. And by understanding the various issues that come up, we can create effective solutions, especially as individuals, because those solutions will be individual based and that can help the skills that are necessary for success to be enhanced so that we can have productivity that is positive for everybody. Now, educational challenges refer to what we say as difficulties, right? These are difficulties that students face while they're trying to pursue their academic success. And these obstacles can also include things like the problems that they have with test preparation. How do they prepare when they're writing exams? To issues with curriculum designs. Actually, what is the curriculum saying to teach? And then what is the life skills that are needed for these children to cope during school time and after? And overcoming such challenges is essential for these students to succeed in whatever their educational goal may be. A key factor for many students, especially, is the concept of self discipline, because it's important for them to learn how to manage themselves through whatever challenges they're facing in education. And students need to learn how to take responsibility for their own learning, and they have to develop whatever skills are necessary in order to stay motivated and organized while they're trying to achieve their goals. To do this, they need creative, positive study habits. And that is independent of whatever the individual is. One study habit might not work across the board for everybody else. So these students have to understand themselves in order to understand what study habit works for them. And learning strategies obviously would help these students to improve these academic performance levels that they have. For that, they need to have a good sense of self awareness. Be aware of who you are, what you want to do, whether what you're doing right now is working or not. And then you'll know when it comes to test preparations and any common challenges faced by students, you have to have an intense focus and concentration level. So, if you, for example, are lacking that right now, that should be on the list of how to work for that. Remember, knowledge is what's key, but you have to take the time and focus and concentrate to learn on what that knowledge is that you're trying to absorb. So, these test taking strategies, such as time allocation, your time management, your selections of question papers to go through, all of these things are dependent on you. You, as an individual student, what works for you and what doesn't. And you have to practice. Practice makes you perfect in what you're trying to do. Practice these tests, your past year papers, your past exams, your past tests. And this utilizing of practice tests, that can help every student become familiar with what the different types of questions could be in your papers that you would be writing. And then you kind of know what's likely to come up in your exam. So when it does come up in your exam, you're not shocked at what you're seeing because you've seen it previously in the different papers. Another challenge that we see, or a problem that is faced by many, is the curriculum. How it is designed, especially for our teachers. This can also be a very important factor when it comes to educational challenges because each student has a specific set of needs. And when it comes to learning, especially new material, every student doesn't absorb and adjust the same way. And curriculums that are meant to have to go lesson by lesson only and doesn't allow for the retake or to go backward to make kids understand more can leave many children left behind. So teachers need to strive to create an engaging content where they speak to their learners and they understand whether what they are teaching is actually being heard, is actually being embossed in what the child is listening to. Because that collaboration between the teachers, the peers, children, and their friends, this encourages an active participation in a classroom, which makes getting your curriculum done much easier. Everything that I teach is about mindset. So with the right mindset, the right tools, your correct support systems, your good support structure, your educational challenges can be very effectively managed by the student first at any level of learning that they're sitting at. Another challenge that is very, very rife is the academic pressure that our students are facing. Because one of the most difficult education challenges to overcome is just this. This kind of academic pressure comes from parents, academic pressure comes from your peers, academic pressure comes from your teachers, and can sometimes even create a self-doubt in you as a student. A parent may expect the child to perform at a certain level in a school, and the teacher may have certain expectations of a child who needs to meet those in order to pass the class. And then, of course, you have your friends in school if you're a student, and they are the major factor because, in terms of social acceptance, you feel like you need to be part of a group. So you need to make sure you conform to what they're looking for in you. And together with this, our students struggle because there's a lack of guidance sometimes, especially when it comes to how do they get through the educational system and manage their expectations. Remember, we're talking about you as a student. So before we take into cognizance what is the expectation of my parent or guardian, what is the expectation of my peer, what is the expectation of my teacher, you as a student who's listening to me now, ask yourself, what is your expectation of you when you are writing your exam? All forms of academic pressure take a toll. They take a toll on the student's mental health, they take a toll on the student's well-being, and eventually our children become so hardened that it's difficult for them to cope. It's difficult to even care for themselves because all they're focusing on is meeting others' expectations. So again, we ask our students to sit back and ask yourself, what is the expectation you have of yourselves? Because we need to enhance these children's mindset so that they learn different and healthy coping skills. They need to learn about self-care strategies throughout this time when they have to write exams, going through tests, etc. This has to be where everything that we're talking about is about trust. Parents need to trust that children are going to give their 200% effort. Your peers need to trust that you're doing the best that you can. Your teachers also need to trust, but you also, as a student, need to trust yourself with whatever efforts you are trying to put in, because you have to do your certain activities or whatever it is that works for you so that you reduce your stress, you reduce your anxiety levels. There are sometimes an option for many children where they can have tutors. Some go to the tutor because the tutor does it in a specific space. Some do online tuition. But whatever it is, it can also be beneficial for you, of course, if it's affordable to you. And there are some who do it for free. So don't feel like you're closed up in a box and you can't get help if you are stuck. And also look around you. Sometimes your teachers are also waiting for you to come up to them and say, I need help, and then get the help. Okay? So try and see what you're doing when you're doing it. Now, as an individual, you are a student. Understand what is your need when it comes to an exam. What is your need in your classroom? What is your need in school? Do you have a good sense of confidence and self-esteem? These are things that you need to know about yourself, because if it's not there, then you need to get support in place that's going to provide you with such personalized support that's going to be tailor-made, so to speak, to help you as a student in your individual capacity, that you're going to be learning how to build your confidence with your abilities to be successful academically. All of that is going to then reduce that academic pressure challenge that you may be facing. Another issue or problem that comes up in the educational sector for our children is socialization. Socialization of our students is something that's greatly affecting their shift of learning. And as a result, we see that many of our children experience this lack of even friendships at school because they're so focused on the socialization aspect. And all of these issues have an immense impact on the academic process. When we talk about remote learning, for example, it leads to feelings of an isolation because then they're not part of a team. There's no interaction with your peers. You don't know how the social system works. And accessing resources can also be difficult because there's very few physical locations that you can go to because everything is online. So students may sometimes miss out on actual socializing experiences because you're taken away from that. And these are essential for your development because in the world, you're not going to be isolated. You have to learn the skill of how do I get in touch and how do I cope? How do I network? You need to be able to learn how do I participate in activities outside of these spaces. And sometimes in a school environment, our children need to also get themselves involved in extracurricular activities or even attend your school sport events that gives you an outlet. And our children are sometimes not only academically inclined, they have different talents, different skills. We need to help them to enhance those. And the use of social media is something that nowadays is not only positive. The use of social media can also lead to lower self-esteem if our children compare themselves all the time to whatever they see online. And that is very negative for our children. So it is important for our teachers and parents together to recognize that there is this potential impact of issues, especially on our students' academic performance and well-being. And we need to take steps. How do I mitigate them? How do we change this? So we have strategies like, do you have virtual group activities in your classroom where they still have that space of being interactive with people? Do you provide for additional educational resources through online platforms, but where they work together? Do you actually monitor social media usage of the student or child that is in your care? And most importantly, do we actually encourage this kind of self-talk between us and our children? Whether you're a parent, whether you're a guardian, whether you're a teacher, do you encourage positive self-talk? Do you know what your child thinks or tells themselves? What do you tell yourself about your child? All of these things help to support our students through difficult times, but it also helps you as you too go through these difficult times with the students as well. Another challenge that we face in the educational sector is one that is about the economy. People have financial limitations. And ever since COVID, we all know people have lost jobs, families are in disarray, some people have lost people themselves who were breadwinners. So financial strain is a major barrier for students sometimes, especially to receive a quality education. There's expenses, that come up. There's expenses for the textbook. There's expenses for your transportation to get to school and back. There's tuition fees if you have to. There's obviously the school fees also that have to be paid for children. And everything can sometimes become too much for a family or for an individual to afford. And of course, what happens then? The system also then loses teachers because there's a shortage of teachers in some areas and some subjects, which result also then in lesser resources for students because there's not enough teachers for them. So many schools are offering more affordable textbooks. Some of them actually give you financial aid programs. So if you're not doing it right now, maybe look into how your school can adapt to that, because that will help children remain focused on education and not worry about the adult world, so to speak. So if you have an organization, maybe you too can get involved in the education sector that's in your community and then create something that provides support with either fees for children in your community or support for transportation costs for children, or maybe you can donate a vehicle, give somebody a job as the driver, and you then creating employment and you make it easier for children to go to school. But these are initiatives that can obviously help. It helps your community, it helps the schools in your community, and helps the children, because then all of the children can access the same educational opportunity, and we take down the barrier regardless of economic backgrounds and financial strains that they may be facing. Another challenge that I know we all face, especially our students are facing, is how do we overcome the sense of anxiety? How do we overcome the sense of fear that we have? Because this can be a major obstacle for our students. It can come up in different ways. I can be scared of my exam. I can be scared of certain subjects and tests that I'm writing. I have this, exam phobia that comes up. I lack confidence because I'm constantly comparing myself to other people. And when I see people in school, I lose my self-esteem. I have stress every time I want to try and write a test, or there's a test that's coming up. I get very stressed out. I get very distracted. And I get, because I'm distracted, I don't do my work on time, and then I get scared, and then I start to doubt myself. And all of these feelings I'm talking about lead to our children not doing what they're supposed to do on time. They procrastinate or they avoid things altogether because the fear becomes paramount. So they can avoid even trying to study for something because they're more scared of what the result will be than to give an effort into studying to get a good result enough. Now, in order to overcome this challenge, which is common everywhere, not just here, but everywhere, it's important for us to recognize what is the source of your fear? Where is your anxiety and your fear actually coming from? Because only when we know where it's coming from, will we know what ways we need to put, how do we actually address your fear and anxiety? How do we create or establish what is a positive attitude for you as a student going forward? We have to know what your previous issues were that made the fears come up for us to give you a new reframed thought, where we take your negative spaces, your negative emotions, negative feelings, and we reframe them to focus on a potential for you reaching positive results. Because that's what you have. Positive results for you as a student is in your potential. So don't slacken your potential by being fearsome and by being fearful and having anxiety, because how you talk to yourself is also key. For example, instead of thinking, I won't do well on my exam, try thinking, I'm going to put effort to do my best in the exam. You're not putting stress on yourself. You just know you got to pass and you got to work at it. So set yourself realistic goals. Don't tell yourself if you're a student who gets 50% and the next test I'm going to get 100. Push yourself in smaller doses so that you know it's realistic for you. I had 50% now. I need to work a little so I get 60. I get the 60. I feel awesome. I know it's working. I work a little bit more to get extra. But when you do it in the smaller steps, you get confidence building within yourself. And then you automatically start to reduce your anxiety level about your performance or your expectation, which other people have of you. Please, when you are studying, especially take regular breaks. Otherwise, your anxiety builds up even more. The regular breaks helps to eliminate your stress becoming worse. And of course, your anxiety for your exam or tests also reduces considerably. And taking these short breaks, even throughout the day, can help you keep focused. So you know, I am focusing, I am doing my work, and my walkabout during my break is actually just helping me. When you have fear and anxiety, the one thing I will appeal to you, especially if you were a student, please reach out for help. Reach out for emotional support, whether it's from family, whether it's from friends, but make sure it's friends that can actually help you. But get the help that you need, because it's important for you to learn, how do I manage these challenges I'm facing? How can I manage my fear? How can I manage my anxiety? How can I manage what I'm going through? These are difficult issues, and they are real issues every student faces. You have got to learn through support, how do I get through this time of difficulty? And sometimes in a school, you have somebody who could be your therapist, could be a life coach. Find somebody who can coach you, and they can help you to get through it. And when you dedicate all of your time to overcoming your fears and anxiety while studying, then your positive result is for sure available to you. Another aspect of a challenge that we all go through as students is, how do we adjust to new settings? If you, for example, keep changing your classrooms, it can be a daunting task for students because you have to partner with new friends, new peers in a classroom. Teachers obviously play a very, very important role in this process of how do you actually adjust with each classroom that you're changing into. And remember, that adjustment means new network, which means new friendships or new relationships, but it also provides an opportunity to gain a kind of an insight into what the expectations are going to be. What are the study strategies now that are required that may be different from what was before? When you work in groups and you're studying, or even if you study remotely, for example, getting that supportive environment is absolutely important. It means, preparing your material before time. It means setting goals collectively and together that you know are going to work. All of these are essential for you to build your self-esteem, your confidence level, and then you know we're going to achieve our task as we work together. So remember, understanding that there is the teacher expectation for your assignment to be done properly, for your result of your assignment to be good, and the test that's going to come up, also there's an expectation there. But I'll ask you yet again, what is your expectation of yourself when things like this have to happen? So when you want to create this effective learning environment for yourself, whether it's in a classroom or elsewhere, you as a student must understand you have to develop a very strong study skill. You have to outline your chapters ahead of time. You have to break up large projects into smaller chunks so you understand them cohesively. And then you have to set reasonable timelines for yourself. Don't do them where you feel like it's too much that I'm trying to cram in. Deadlines are also very important because it allows you to learn a routine, but it must be realistic. I'm making this my deadline because I know I can work with it. You have got to be realistic as a student about you as a person, as what is individually working for you. So when you adapt into all these new settings in your space or in your life or in your classroom, you have to be committed that I'm going to get through the change. The teachers also have to be committed to try and help you go through the change. So when you partner with your friends in a group, when developing strategies together as study groups, etc., all of these things help keep you guys motivated and you're able to then keep learning even better. Now, when you are developing healthy learning habits, you have got to be very in tune with who you are. And many students struggle to develop healthy learning habits because when you foster this kind of a discipline where you can identify your goals, you know you're being mindful about every decision that you need to make, and you're seeking the guidance and the support, and you're making yourself part of a support structure that helps you, then all of these strategies help you as a student to do one very important thing, and that is to build your resilience. And your resilience is key for you to actually improve your academic performance. So when you are creating your schedule, make sure that your schedule that you create is a structured one. Your structured schedule has to stick to what is important for you and make sure your deadlines are met. It has to be realistic. Your step-by-step discipline is as per your schedule. And it can be helpful that when you are doing your schedule, you actually include your daily tasks. What are your chores? Because remember, you have to learn how to balance things out. Set yourself achievable goals, like I said before, something that's workable and doable, not unrealistic. So when you're planning out your sessions, plan in advance so you know, I have to incorporate this. This is when my break is. This is what I'm going to do in my break. And this is going to provide a sense of structure for you. The structure gives you a mental discipline of how I'm going to work it out. And then you order yourself mentally that I'm going to improve my productivity because I'm going to stick with my source of work. I'm going to stick with my schedule that I put together. So when you're creating the schedule, you have to practice mindfulness when you are studying. And this means that I got to be aware. I got to be present here in my moment rather than while I'm doing one thing, I start to worry about other things that are happening, whether it's in my past, whether what may happen tomorrow. Those things are going to distract you. So take your short breaks and make sure you have this clear mind. Some people will do meditation, other people will just have other forms of relaxation, but find something that is beneficial for you that helps you to improve your concentration level. When you're getting help, for anything as a student, when you're seeking some form of guidance, it's very, very essential that you develop a learning habit that is healthy. You know, when you receive advice from family, teachers, your tutors, your mentors, your friends, make sure that it's advice and stuff like that that is obviously going to be trustworthy for you, but more than that, it gives you an insight into how to adjust you to what you're looking for. So having someone who kind of holds you accountable sometimes that you are sticking to your schedule is also a very good thing. They're not a bad thing. So have somebody that you trust actually make sure that you are being held accountable, that you're making your deadlines and you're actually sticking to your schedule. This means that your goals will be met on time. This means that you're actually giving yourself the 200% effort, which is key. It's key because it leads us into what the other problem is. Another issue that we face, especially as students, is we don't have enough motivation for ourselves. Yet, with the right mindset and with the right kind of guidance that we can get, our students can access this potential within themselves and they can make progress towards their goals. And if you want to be a successful student, you have got to understand the importance of building your resilience, building your confidence, explore your interests. Building that resilience means I got to keep cultivating it. I got to keep moving with different things. I got to keep feeding myself with resilient strategies and coping, developing your focus skills, your concentration, finding the balance between everything in your life. Remember, you need to build your confidence. You need to build your self-esteem. You need to explore your interests and develop new skills. You need to try new hobbies. You need to challenge yourself and yet overcome other challenges with much ease because you're building this resilience skill. You have to try new hobbies or volunteer opportunities so that you can get a feel of what's happening, and that's going to help you find your balance, develop your focus, become a goal orientated someone, not just somebody who gets by with every day. Prioritize you, prioritize your task, and find your balance to achieve success with less stress. And by taking these steps, our students know that they can create a very healthy learning environment, which is going to encourage them to reach that full potential that they have within them. And every child has that potential. They need to dig deep within themselves and find out, is this potential working for me or not? Am I neglecting it? And then with practice, motivation will come second nature to you. You will learn how to build your discipline for you as a self. You will learn how to be motivated by yourself. And becoming this kind of a self-motivated student or learner, you're going to identify what works for you, what works best for you. You're going to be so aware of you that you're going to know, how do I adjust or change my things? Now, every student always comes up with one issue, especially because of devices that are in their hand. And that is, how do I manage my time? How do I manage my time and set my priorities? When you become self-motivated, which is what we just spoke about, an important part of that success, remember, is in your education, is managing your time, setting your priorities. When you have that, it's essential because then you know, what is my priority for the day? How am I setting it up in my schedule? How am I managing my time so that I make sure all of this is done properly? Now, to help a student find this kind of a balance, they need to be very aware of themselves. What is your distraction right now that's avoiding you from doing that? A couple of things you can think of doing to have some effective time management as a student is, number one, plan ahead. Create a schedule that's working for you and stick to it. This is going to help you avoid schedule conflicts. And of course, then you're going to be able to complete your tasks on time. So plan ahead. Your second thing that you need to do as a student is set your goals. Make sure that your goals are clear, that, like I said, they have to be realistic, they have to be achievable for you. So they need to help you you need to help yourself be motivated, and your goals must be very achievable. Break down the long-term goals, for example, into smaller tasks. So as each one gets seen as accomplished, you have a tick on your box and you feel better. So your second thing is to set your goals. Then, when you have your task list as a student, organize your tasks. Make sure that your work is actually organized as you prioritize it, because you have deadlines. You can have 5 different things, but you need 5 different tasks and 5 different deadlines. So when you know what you are doing and you organize your tasks, you're going to help reduce your stress. You're not going to be anxious because you know you're going to work off your schedule and all of your deadlines are going to be met and nothing is going to be overlooked or left behind. So time management is key. It is an important skill for all of us, not just our students, adults, teachers. Every one of us need to learn time management as a skill because it helps us to stay on track with whatever we have to do and how to achieve our goals. So learn this concept of time management and how to manage it for you as a person, as a self. It's also important to remember that everyone manages time very differently. This is why I said at the beginning, you are doing this as an individual first. What works for one might not work for you because the chores in one space is not the same as in yours. So you know you. And when you have all of these things that I've just said now in the back of your mind, you're going to be able to maximize your productivity and you reach your academic potential. Again, I will reiterate, please reach out for support when you need it. It's very important for you, if you want to overcome your educational challenges, you have to seek out the support and advice, or even encouragement sometimes, from someone or spaces that you trust, that can provide you with a kind of an insight that's very valuable, that's going to help you to be able to know, how do I change what I'm feeling or thinking that is negative into something more positive? How do I address the issues I'm facing at hand positively so I don't end up losing my deadlines and I don't end up feeling worse than I am? And strategies such as what we're talking about with resources, building your relationships with your mentor, these things are very important because it helps you to get the guidance that you are looking for, and it makes you seek effective ways of how to get yourself to overcome whatever obstacles you are facing. And it's important to remember that no single solution is always there for a problem. Sometimes, you have the right corner, people in your corner, but it's not really working. So you have to be able to know, what is my outcome that I'm looking for? Is the space actually working? Whether it's parents, whether it's your teacher or your mentor, you have to find someone who is an individual who is willing to lend you their expertise, who's willing to tailor advice for you, and who knows what they're doing. And you must feel comfortable to know that it's working for you. So some schools offer you this type of opportunity with people that they have as a life coach, as a counselor, as their therapist. So take advantage of this, because this is useful for you to help you become better. When you take advantage of these supportive networks, it actually helps you, because you utilize these available resources, and you as a student can then have this higher chance of, how do I attain my success? And every time you endure any form of an educational challenge, it works for you, because you have this go-to space. So with the right kind of help, the right kind of mindset, and everything that I've just spoken to you about now, if you put it all into play together, you as a student can gain confidence within yourself, and you'll be able to develop whatever skills are necessary for you to have the change in your academic life that's going to make things a lot easier for you. This concept of self-motivation keeps coming up, and sometimes we don't know how to actually help our children with this, because developing the self-motivation of our children is very challenging sometimes. And one of the things I always say is, we have to try and foster this quality when we engage with curiosity issues. You have to instill discipline, but in a very diplomatic way. Promote a sense of talking to each other. Collaboration is key. And this helps our children to understand the world is not your enemy. The world is actually there for you to explore and learn and gain confidence from. So it's important to cultivate the sense of resilience, as I spoke about earlier, when we're providing the guidance to our children, which can empower them to make their own decisions very well and clearly. So with the right guidance, the right support, even a parent can help a child develop these self-motivation skills. And that's going to help them, of course, get success with their studies. Another important issue that comes up sometimes is, if a parent or a guardian is going through their economic limitations, what resources do they have, or what do we have to help them? And we know financial strains really impact on children. Some organizations can help, like I said before, they can actually maybe donate towards children getting tuition if they need it. They can maybe help eliminate the issue of transport issues. Overall, there are many ways communities can get involved in trying to help parents, trying to help children, so that we can get all our children to have this positive sense of education. Because everyone is deserving of it, everyone has the right to education, and everyone should be able to get whatever they need in order to set their goals and be successful in what they're looking to do and achieve. We don't want our students to miss out on important experiences of life. And right now, being in a school is key for them to be able to experience life as best as possible. And we have to do our best to be able to make sure that they are getting whatever is necessary for them to be accomplished and to be the best that they can be. I'm going to pause now and check if there are any questions and answers. And thank you, IGP, for having me. It's always a pleasure and an honor to be here with IGP and with all of you in the world. And I look forward to seeing you in my next issue next month. For now, thank you so much for giving me your attention. God bless. Thank you, ma'am. Ma'am, are you here?
Thank Thank you so much, ma'am, for your rich content presentation, which can impact our knowledge seeker surely. After your presentation, I hope our knowledge seeker can learn something new, which is our only intention. Learn and grow together, IGP knowledge seeker. Once again, thank you so much, ma'am, for your presentation. Now, ma'am, it's time for our question answer session, which is the one more valuable part of our regular webinar. Honorable ma'am, please stay with us. After a short video, we will back in our session part 2, which is the question answer part. Dear IGP knowledge seeker, please ask your question in the comment box as much as you want to know from our speaker. Thank you. After question answer, we have a webinar certification and online quiz competition. Dear IGP knowledge seeker, please ask your question in the comment box as much as you want to know from our speaker. Thank you. After question answer, we have a webinar certification and online quiz competition. Welcome back, ma'am. Welcome back to our participant. Dear RGP knowledge seeker, please ask your question in the comment box as much as you want to know from our speaker. Thank you. After question answer, we have a webinar certification and online quiz competition. Dear RGP knowledge seeker, please ask your question in the comment box as much as you want to know from our speaker. Thank you. After question answer, we have a webinar certification and online quiz competition. Ma'am, I think after our presentation, our participant can understand the topic very clearly. That's why no questions from our participants. So once again, thank you so much, ma'am, for your time in IGP. We have learned a lot from you with new topic. It will add some value to our day-to-day activity along with our academic and professional growth. Honorable ma'am, hope to see you again with a new topic and a new date. Thank you, ma'am. Take care.
Thank you very much. God bless.
Welcome, ma'am. Honorable ma'am, before we move to the next, if you want to leave this studio, you can. Dear IGP knowledge seeker, time for the webinar certification, most attractive and powerful part of our regular webinar. After a short video, we will start our webinar certification. After webinar certification, we have an online quiz competition and quiz certification. Dear IGP knowledge seeker, time for the Pre-certification process is the most effective and powerful part of our regular webinar. After a short video, we will start our webinar certification. After webinar certification, we have an online quiz competition and quiz certification. Certification, this is www.eduigp.com. Please make sure your presence on our website. Find a running session and get enrolled. After watching opening part 1, move to the next line test passing mark 80%. Pass back to the course again to download the certificate. If failed, retake the quiz. Download the certificate in PDF or JPG. For your attention, I am going to share the procedure again. Visit www.eduigp.com. Please make sure your presence on our website. Find a running session and get enrolled. After watching opening part 1, move to the next. We'll learn just passing mark 80%. Pass back to the course again to download the certificate. If failed, retake the quiz. Download the certificate in PDF or JPG. Dear IGP Nursing, it's time for the most engaging part of this webinar, which is an online quiz competition, which is our regular webinar activity. We change a few processes for online quiz competition. Note that after life, no one can participate. Now, time for the online quiz competition. To join the online quiz competition properly, please follow my instruction carefully. Now, time for the online quiz competition. To join the online quiz competition properly, please follow my instruction carefully. Visit www.eduigp.com. Sign up or sign in. Without this, you cannot join live quiz competition anymore. Browse the live quiz button and give a link. Find the session name and join with your logged website or user account. Click join and wait for a few minutes for others to join and join on a live quiz competition. After the quiz, we release a certificate for top 10 as previously, which you can find on official Facebook page and group Institute of Global Professional. After a short video, we will start our quiz session. With 16 people, we are going to start our quiz session right now. First question is, who is to blame for certain educational problems? Is it option 1 or option 2? Option 2 is the right answer. 43% people are right here. Second question is, Conceptual thinking is a set of a strategy for tracking complex problems. Is it true or false? Option 1 is the right answer. 92% people are right. Here our next question is, what two types situation do we have for tracking social problems? Is it option 1 or option 2? Option 2 is the right answer. 50% people are right. Our next question is, presidency reviews a plan for tracking the problem of the Great Depression. Is it option 1 or option 2? Option 2 is the right answer. 8% people are right. Our next question is, schools now hold clinics for children who need help tracking weight problems. Is it true or false? ওকে ফোন করলে যেতে বেঁধে যাচ্ছে মোটা Option 2 is the right answer. 9% people are right here. Our next question is, school now hold clinics for children who need help tracking weight problems. Is it true or false? Option 2 is the right answer. 96% people are right. Our next question is, educational psychology is mainly meant for solving problems related to. Is it option 1 or option 2? Option B is the right answer. 67% people are right. Our next question is, a type of memo used to convey idea and solution for tracking certain problems. Is it option 1 or option 2? Option 2 is the right answer. 100% people are right. Our last and final question of the session is multiple disability causes search, survey, education, or problem. The problem cannot accommodate society for any improvement. Is it option 1 or option 2? রাত 12টা বাজে এখানে আবার সালিশ বসবে জামাই কিনলে আমগান কি ওর পক্ষে এখানে লোকের অভাব ছিল না Option 2 is the right answer. 96% people are right here. Congratulations to our online quiz competition. You are top 10. Congratulations again. We will take a few minutes for finalize the result. After that, we will issue our online quiz competition certificate on official Facebook page and group Institute of Global Professional. Congratulations to our online quiz competition. You are top 10. Congratulations again. We will take a few minutes for finalize the result. After that, we will issue our online quiz competition certificate on official Facebook page and group Institute of Global Professional. Congratulations to our online quiz competition. You are top 10. Congratulations again. We will take a for finalize the result. After that, we will issue our online quiz company certificate on official Facebook page and Google Institute of Global Professional. At the end of our session, we can say properly feed your skill. Never stop learning. Cause life never stop teaching us. Be happy and safe. See you again and again. We want your participation in every program. If you really be happy life, try to go on to people or things about understand the price or hit the like button. Again, want to thank all IGP knowledge seekers for your active participation as always. See you again in the next session. Thank you.